welcome back to the Shane Hoffman Show, and this is episode 2, and in today's episode, we got a whole bunch of things to go over today. The fallout between my adventures with Superman, the first 2 episodes, right? My first impressions on that, the fallout between Cody Rhodes and Logan Paul, and some of the other things that happened at King of the Ring, including the winner of King of the Ring. We're going to talk about that, and Queen of the Ring, right? We're going to talk about that stuff, an update on my professional wrestling career, and lastly, of course, this is part fitness show, we got to talk about how to break through strength and plateaus. So, lots to go over on today's episode. Let's get to it. So, my adventures with Superman. First 2 episodes dropped on Max Sunday. Yeah, they dropped Sunday, Saturday night at midnight. So Sunday, yeah, they dropped Sunday, and we're going to talk about it. So, the show, I don't want to give too many spoiler warning, because I am going to talk spoilers on it. I guess we'll go to a non-spoiler part first. So, not spoilery. It was good, right? Just my impressions on it. I think it picks up after season 1 quite well. It answers some questions that season 1 gave that never answered toward the end of the season. We start to get those answers now as we approach into season 2. So that's nice. Also elaborates on some of the stuff in season 1, which is really awesome, really cool to see. And introduces us to some themes, some things that are going to happen down the road, which I'm going to talk about in just a moment, spoilers, and introduces us to some characters. And we're going to go over spoiler stuff now. So if you don't want to be spoiled, skip to the next section of the show, because we're going to spoil it. So, ready? Okay, so here's what happens, basically. What happens is we're opened up to the show. Clark is basically finding out about the truth of his people, that they are a peaceful people, that they are not evil, right? He meets his father, the hologram of his real father, Jor-El, for the first time. And he finally starts to understand the truth about what happened to Krypton and that he is the last known survivor. Except for one, his cousin Kara, who he learns in episode 1 is alive. And that starts that segment of the journey of finding Kara. So we have not gotten to finding her in the first 2 episodes, but he is now on the path. He knows she's alive. He knows that she is somewhere on Earth. Now he's beginning to try and search for her. We also pick off where Sam, right, Lois's dad, General Sam, has been kidnapped by Amanda Waller and is being interrogated for the Superman mission. And Lois wants Clark, Superman, to go help find him. We get an update that Jimmy is now one of the leaders at the Daily Planet for Flamebird, right, his little social media thing. So we follow him and his new challenge of being a leader. We get more little nuggets of Lois and Clark's relationship, how their dynamic is, since they're kind of deeper into their relationship now. It's a nice dynamic to see. They both just knock it out of the park with that. It's great to see that. That element of it is perfect. And we get to episode 2, which is kind of a break-in type deal where Lois and Clark break into a facility to try and free Lois's dad, as well as find out what's been happening to some people going missing. And we find out that they're being experimented on into like living weapons from Kryptonian technology. Also, we find out that in that facility is a beaker, right, like a signal communicator to find Kara. And then at the end of the episode, Lex Luthor himself is introduced. So, cool episode. What are my thoughts on it? I like it. I'm liking it so far. I'm interested to see where they're going to go with Lex Luthor. He still has hair, and he's clearly young. He's not a successful businessman. He's clearly a young tech kid. So I'm interested to see where they're going to go with his character, because he's not the classic Lex Luthor at all. I don't hate that, right? They're doing a very specific and different take on Superman with this show. In some elements, it is classic Superman to the nature of his character and hope and, being tough and being strong and happy and hopeful. And that element is classic Superman, and the suit looks great. But in other elements, it's a very new spin. I'm not used to this. Lois Lane looks different, right? Jimmy looks different. They kind of act different than usual. Lois is very innocent and very spunky, which she's typically spunky in the comics and in the old shows, but she has just a different, more quirky personality to her than usual. That's what I'm looking for, quirky. She's usually not this quirky. I like this version of Lois a lot. I like this version of Clark a lot. And I'm interested to see if I'll like this version of Lex. We'll have to see. But yeah, so far, very good first few impressions. on My Adventures with Superman. I got nothing more to say about that other than just go watch it yourself. It's great.